Everyone. This is Laushi Lawrence McElroy, and here we are on a Monday. It's Monday, and it's May 18th of 2025. No, 2020. Sorry, and we are continuing our Facebook Live sessions on Monday morning for everyone, of course, but specifically set up for our friends at Sachem Public Library, people who are missing their ongoing program in the library in this time of COVID-19. Library remains, to the best of my knowledge, closed until further notice, and the community services programs are actually canceled through at a minimum July. So we're going to be here for a while on Monday mornings, except next Monday. We will be taking a break for the holiday in honor of those who have fallen in service to our country, and a special thought to those we have lost during the novel coronavirus crisis. So anyway, getting back into it, we'll be back for the month of June. We'll be back for the month of July. I believe all of them. I can't remember where July 4th falls this year right now. Good morning, Steve. And we'll be here for 2 more Tuesday mornings. Again, the live sessions are our attempt at Water Tiger School to reach out to the greater community in this time of being home alone together. Hi, Linda. And we will, we're doing this also for West Babylon on Tuesday mornings at 10:15 for the same reason. They had a long ongoing Tai Chi program, a studio style class that has also been suspended during the crisis. However, beginning June 2nd, they're going to move into remote sessions. So we'll lose our Tuesday mornings here. And we'll also continue producing and posting videos on our pre-recorded videos on Water Tiger's YouTube channel that opened because of COVID-19. So anyway, this morning, without further ado, what are we going to do? Well, my t-shirt is a, shall we say, hint. No, we're not going to fly into space. No, I'm not going to do a storytime reading from the Curious George series, though they really were great books when I was growing up. We're going to focus on that last word, monkey. So this will be our third movement into the Five Animal Frolics as seen by Water Tiger School. So one of our first live sessions early on was tiger walking from the Five Frolics of the Tiger. Last week on Tuesday morning, I think it was Tuesday morning, yeah. On Tuesday morning, we did crane walking from the Five Frolics of the Crane. And this morning, we're going to introduce you to, sorry, I just saw Steve's comment, Taming the Monkey Mind. Good guess, but no, it's the Monkey Frolics. Anyway, introduce you to the monkey walking from the Monkey Frolics and all that it entails. Now, keep in mind, each of the 5 animals have their own therapeutic qualities. And the therapeutic quality of the monkey is it supports the spleen, pancreas, and the stomach, treats indigestion, gastrointestinal disorders, decreased appetite, for that matter, increased appetite, etc. It also helps to strengthen the shoulders, the chest and the upper back, the spine, and the basic invigoration that this particular set of movements, the Monkey Frolics, sets in the system because of the way that you're giving yourself an internal massage through the movement, through the attitude of the monkey, and through the specialized breathing of the monkey, and the way that we use the eyes in the monkey can help with such things as deterring eye infections and also just chronic infections throughout the body. So, I guess maybe we should have been doing this one sooner. Good morning, Colette. So if you've been here, or if you were here on Tuesday morning, our warm-up was from the 9 temple exercises. And it is an exercise that we call, from our version of the 9 temple exercises, advance and retreat. And we're going to do that again because it is my go-to warm-up for the animal frolics, because it's very important in the way that we move in the lower body, the placement of the feet, and the turn of the upper body, that we maintain strong focus on the knee to toe orientation, because there can be a tendency, and we know this through our Tai Chi, we know this through other things that we do in Qigong, and even physical training stretches that we might do in the room, or now these days remotely, that when you turn the upper torso, if you bring the hips too much width, you'll take the knee out of alignment with the toes, kind of bending it sideways and twisting. Knees are basically supposed to be a 2-directional joint. So when you bend them sideways or twist them, they are not happy campers. And as we have been saying, now is not the time to find yourself needing to go to a hospital because of something you did to yourself. So just be careful with the knees, and use advance and retreat to sort of bring that mind's eye, that certain degree of mindfulness into your knees. So advance and retreat, we retreat first. Keep in mind there are 2 distinct breaks in the movement. And by that, I mean there is a shift and there is a turn. They are not done together. You shift and then you turn. You shift and then you turn. Doesn't matter if you're in the retreat section of the part of the exercise or the advanced section of the exercise, that remains true. So you can be shoulder wide or a little bit wider. Toes, knees should be forward so the feet are parallel. Keep in mind, with advance and retreat, there are sort of 3 components upon which we focus. One, maybe the breath. It's not really necessary, but I'll suggest a couple of different breath patterns through this exercise, but breathe when you have to. And 2, an image that helps us also understand what advance and retreat is about, expand it into our greater Tai Chi and Qigong experience, and understanding yin and yang, expansive and compressive energies and that sort of thing. And 3, even deeper still, in things that we do in our Tai Chi. Now, 9 temple exercises aren't necessarily Tai Chi exercises, but a lot of the principles that they allow us to explore can be applied to our Tai Chi. And a lot of people who, well, based on what I've seen online, and because I've seen it online, it has to be true, right? That a lot of programs who do teach Tai Chi also include the 9 temple exercises as part of their curriculum. So anyway, getting to that last deeper point is our exploration through this exercise, and how when we are retreating, parts of us are still advancing. And while we are advancing, parts of us are also retreating. So you have that balance in doing either movement, that you're really doing both at the same time. So it's not truly that I'm doing a retreat first and then advance for the second half of the exercise. Both parts of the exercise, you are advancing while you're retreating, and you're retreating while you're advancing. I know it's a little early on a Monday morning to get that deep into things, but deal with it. So I'm going to settle my weight. It doesn't matter if you go left or right. I'm going to go to the left first. I'm going to settle my weight into the left leg. Again, toes and knees stay forward. I'm going to begin a twist in my torso. Now, I might have some flexibility in the hips, so maybe the hips turn a little bit, but as soon as I feel that turn and that part of my torso start to pull on my knee, that part of my torso is done twisting. Then I move a little bit higher up into the mid torso and see where my flexibility takes me there in the spine and the lower back and the belly. And once again, once that starts to lock up into the hips and the hips start to pull the knee, I'm done twisting there. And then I go up higher into my shoulders and my chest, and I twist there until I feel it carrying down to my knee, and then I'm done. Then I have this nice little thing here called the sky post. In the microcosm of the human being, this is the heavens, this is the earth. The neck is the post that connects the heavens to the earth and the earth to the heavens, hence the sky post. I'm going to turn and I'm going to look that direction. So I have all these increments to get me into my weighted foot to the left and turning and looking to the left, or weighted foot to the right, turning and looking to the right. So I am weighting one foot, and the foot that I'm weighting, I am turning and looking in the direction of that foot. When I do advance and retreat, the arms just hang. So they'll swing around, that sort of thing. You can put them in a static place if you want, but I like mine hanging. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, again, two separate movements. The shift and the turn. I'll talk about the breath in a little while. I'll talk about the image in a little while. We shift while still looking the direction where we started. So I'm moving away from the direction I'm facing. And then I turn. Might be a little bit different on the second side, different flexibilities from side to side. The left isn't the right and the right isn't the left. Shift while looking at the wall from which I am moving, and turn. Shift and turn. Keep your mind on those knees. Shift and turn. Crown point of the head over the base of the pelvic bowl, and those 2 points shifting toward the ball of one foot, turning, and then shifting toward the ball of the other foot, the young quan, the bubbling well cavity, and turn. If you want a breath pattern here, it might be an exhalation on the turn and an inhalation on the shift, but breathe when you have to. Not really counting here, but I think that's probably about 4 or 5 pairs. I'm going to aim for 12. I'll probably miss it because I'm talking while doing this. So again, add the breath in a given pattern if you want to. If your breath falls into a reverse pattern, or if you need to breathe more often, that's okay. We're going to do about 6 more pairs, including this one. Now that image that I mentioned is something's coming toward me, something's becoming young, it's expanding. So I'm compressing, giving it space. By the way, as I'm moving backwards here, this hip is turning back, this hip is turning forward. So this hip is, well, this side of my torso, not hip, is expanding, is advancing, while this shoulder, this side of my torso, is retreating. While I'm compressing into this leg, retreating, that leg is extending, advancing in the direction. So just keep that in mind. Shift, that was 7 pairs, I believe. I'm not sure if I stopped at 6 or 7, so here's 8. What I'm going to call 8. Here's 9. So if nothing else, just pay attention to the physicality of this. Here's 10. So focusing on the knees is really the primary reason I do this. I throw the rest in there just in case you're comfortable with this particular exercise and you want to explore it a little bit deeper. We're going to do 1 more pair, somewhere around 12 pairs. And we're going to hold at this point. Second half of the exercise is advance. So now I'm going to shift while looking in the direction in which I am moving. So I'm going to move closer to the wall at which I am looking, and then turn. Shift, expanding, advancing toward the wall I am facing, and turn. So if you want to follow my suggestion for a breath pattern here, it might be an exhalation now on the shift and an inhalation on the turn. But breathe when you have to. This is, I believe, the 3rd pair, might have been the 2nd. And now you can probably guess something is compressing, something is moving away from me. I'm filling the space it has created, expanding, becoming young when it becomes yin. And again, even though I am expanding, filling this leg, moving in this direction, this shoulder, this side of my torso is advancing. This side is still retreating as I'm facing this way to keep my twist. As I'm compressing, moving forward into this leg, that leg is driving down and back, retreating. Shift and turn, shift and turn. We're going to call that 6 pairs halfway home on advancing in advance and retreat from the 9 temple exercises from Water Tiger School's approach. 7 and 7, but again, remember the primary physical this is not good. The thing upon which we want to focus physically, the primary goal of this is just to put the mind in the knees so we don't twist them when we do the monkey frolics. We're going to do about 3 more pairs. So we'll end somewhere around 12, maybe short, probably long. 1 more pair after this one. Boom. Turn, completely separate movement. Advance 1 last time, turn and face the front. And there's your advance and retreat as a warm-up to get us toward monkey walking from the monkey frolics, from the 5 Animal Frolics. Let me see if there's anything new. Nope, no button. No one new copy. So anyway, so there you go. If you've been here for the tiger, if you've been here for the crane, you know, there are different aspects to each of the animals. I've already shared the therapeutic qualities, basically dealing with gastrointestinal disorders and things of the spleen, stomach, etc., as well as other aspects. I believe really all of the all the animal frolics can help with various degrees and places in the body where you might be experiencing arthritis, that sort of thing. But aside from the therapeutic qualities, we also seek to embrace the nature and the spirit of each animal. And each animal has their own special nature and spirit. And the nature of the monkey is, this is going to be a little bit weird, and you'll figure out, you know, and I'll explain why when we get to it. The nature of the monkey is expressed through constant activity, which sort of goes back to Steve's guess that when I stood up and said, you know, the shirt is a clue, when he wrote that, you know, like, are we going to explore the monkey mind? Because constant activity doesn't necessarily need to be physical. Plus, you can have a stop in your movement and still maintain a sense of movement while you are stopped. And I'll explain what that means when we get to it. So that's the nature of the monkey. Constant activity, always active. Let's get a little bit of my monkey going there. And the spirit of the animal is flexible and playful. So the monkey is clever. And with a certain, you know, covering sort of a certain inner strength, intelligence. So the spirit is clever and intelligent, playful with an inner strength. So a little esoteric, I know. So let's get to something a little bit more, you know, tangible. The physical movement. Be very, very careful with the physical movement, because in the movement, we're going to compress the chest, the shoulders, sort of rounding the back and compressing the neck down. The reason I say be very, very careful is if you do that in a very muscular fashion and clench, you're not going to have a very good monkey experience. You want to keep it subtle. You want to feel that expansion, compression going on. Notice, let's see if I can get a little bit closer here so you can see a little bit better. All right, regular position. Coming into it. It is said the crane that we played last week opens up. The monkey closes in. So that's the basic physical movement, with different hand positions depending upon the frolic of the monkey. And in monkey walking, it's a crane's beak position. So we may know this position from, you know, single whip, from our Shaolin Chin-Ah and our Qigong hand exercises with swimming octopus, you're bringing the pad of the thumb to the pads of the other 4 digits. And both of those hands do that at the same time. So as you're compressing the chest, expanding, and the neck, and expanding the shoulders, etc., your hands are coming into this position about in front of the chest. The lower body movement, we'll work into that in a moment. The chi focus here is relatively easy. Some of them are pretty complex. You remember with the crane last week, there was a rise and fall between the Xia Dantian and the Zhang Dantian, not the acupuncture points, the actual esoteric vessels inside the body. And then different foci for the different positions of the arms, as far as like on the inside of the wings, on the outside of the wings, that sort of thing. Here, the chi focus, just keep a mind's eye on the actual Xia Dantian, again, not the acupuncture point, but the esoteric channel that sets in the bowl of the hips, inside on the center line between the crown point of the head and the base of the pelvic bowl, in the belly. So part of the mind is there. The other part is in the hands, or should I say in this case, paws. P-A-W-S, not P-A-U-S-E. Right? So there's your chi focus. The breath I alluded to early on in this morning's session is quite specialized, and it works the diaphragm in such a way to really massage this area, because the inhalation is, both inhalation and exhalation is done through the mouth. The inhale through the teeth. The exhale, like the crane, is again sort of like the sound of the wind, and then you hold. But Water Tiger likes to add a certain little kind of maybe flavor of what a monkey, how a monkey might do that. So I'm not really saying, excuse me, ooh, when I do that, but my wind has a little plosiveness to it when I exhale in our approach to the monkey frolics. So again, nature expressed through constant activity, and spirit, certain cleverness, playfulness that covers an inner strength and intelligence. The movement coming in, closing in. We have the hand positions for monkey walking. The chi focus on the Xia Dantian, not the acupuncture point, the actual esoteric vessel, and on the hands as we move. The walk is basically what we experienced with crane walking last week, and a certain aspect of tiger walking, because they are related, but like crane, the back foot's going to come in. So I'm going to more or less be walking in this way, where my feet are going to keep going to the 45-degree angle. The reason we want to focus on the knees and the toe orientation is I'm going to twist and look that direction. So I'm twisting my upper torso to look to the opposite 45 of where my knees and my toes are. I'm going to switch to the heel, and I'm going to come up. And the back foot's going to come in. I'm going to hold that position and my breath, and then I'm going to turn. And then I'm going to hold that position. And then I'm going to switch to the heel. I'm going to fill that foot, and the back foot comes in. You can keep it in the air if you want. I suggest letting the toes, the ball of the foot, rest in this position. That way you don't create extra strain on the leg. But if you can do that without adding any tension to the leg, and you don't have to fight for your balance, fine. But otherwise, set the ball of the foot down. But again, you're holding both breath and movement for a couple of beats. Oops, stepping to the ball of the foot, the toes. I think this step will take off the rest of my head. Switch to the heel and come in. This, by the way, I'm going to move so I get my head back. This is the inhalation. And ideally, the inhale and the placement of the foot all done together, all my weight's on my back leg, holding movement and breath, then switching to the heel. And there is a formal closing to the animal frolics. The hands stop whatever they're doing. Back foot comes in. The hands rise, palm up on the tippy toes, fingertip to fingertip, and down. So it's sort of like poor Chi through the back way from our breathing set, and a little rebound. And you do that at the end of the pass. The other thing to mention is that I'm doing all this in a linear fashion, that I am simply walking toward the camera in a straight line. Ideally, this set is played, one, with a group of people as opposed to just you yourself, and two, it's done as a circle walk. So it's a lot easier to learn these individual frolics in a linear fashion and then apply it to the circle. So there you go. We have a nice, in our residence, we have a nice round dining room table. So that's usually when I'm refreshing myself with the animal frolics. That's where I go, because you can't help but walk the circle around the round dining room table. So if we put it all together for monkey walking, remember, don't really have, part of my mind is, yes, I'm paying attention to what's going on in this area because I'm aware of the therapeutic qualities of helping with issues of the stomach and the spleen and the pancreas. I'm also keeping in mind that this very dynamic movement in the upper body helps to strengthen the shoulders, the upper back, and the spine, because things are rounding. You're really activating the spine itself, so you're strengthening the spine. Plus, the nature of the breath and the nature of the movement and the nature of the monkey's attitude invigorates the entire system to help ward off infections. So take a moment, shake things out. A few regular cleansing kind of breaths, however you want to breathe, nasal, oral, a combination, just to settle things down. And we'll get our monkey on. Settling in. So this position with the crunch happens on the inhale when the foot goes out. Just realized I hadn't made that particular specific note. So we'll start, hands just hang at the sides. That's sort of the neutral position, vertically aligned, crown point of the head, base of the pelvic ball of the foot. And hold. Switch to the heel. Now the foot is coming in, it's here. I'm done with my breath. This moment of hold, going back to constant activity, what I'm thinking with monkey walking, monkey isn't really walking. Monkey is swinging. And at this point, I've swung, I've grabbed a hold of the vine. I'm swinging on the vine. I've let go of the vine. I'm flying in the air. Grabbing the next vine. Swinging. Flying through the air. Last step, because I've lost most of my head and now my shoulders. So that foot comes in, turn, palms up, palms down. Palms down, the best monkey frolic ever. And return to the belly. And there's your first pass, hopefully. It went well, it felt well, of monkey walking from Water Tiger School's approach to the Five Animal Frolics. And the first frolic of the monkey. I'm going to do another pass, but before we do, the other 5 frolics of the monkey, You have monkey walking, you have monkey peeping. I don't know if the monkey's name is Tom or not. I would say it's Curious George. The hand position changes. It becomes sort of what we refer to as a snake's head. So you can see the thumb is slightly tucked, so it's more or less in line with the index finger. And in monkey peeping, upper body stays the same. The down hand comes into the side like that, and the upper hand is beside the temple, kind of like I'm shading, but it's not like a salute. I don't have the fingers across. The fingers are pointed straight up. So monkey peeping. And that's monkey peeping. Monkey picking. You know, I mentioned the eyes before. That's why I talk about the vines in monkey walking, because the monkey is moving and looking for that next vine. So the eyes are very active. Monkey peeping, let's say the monkey's getting a little peckish. So he's looking for that perfect fruit tree. Monkey picking, found the tree. Same sort of snakehead's position. My hands are ending on my center line. This one just a little bit at eye level, above it. This one below. The upper one farther away, closer to. And the high hand matches the empty foot. So we found the perfect peach, eaten our fill. So now the fourth frolic of the monkey is monkey offers peach to the great immortal spirit. So the hands leave previous positions and sort of become the serving tray for the peach. And you're looking at the great immortal around the peach. I'm moving pretty fast here. And I like to explore pretty casual clothes there. I like to explore the idea of the cleverness and the playfulness of the monkey, because in my mind, I'm holding the peach out, the great immortal spirit's grabbing for it, and then I'm sort of pulling it away. Don't really do the pulling movement that much. It's sort of that attitude of just bringing the hands down, getting it out of the reach of the great immortal spirit, which brings us to the fifth frolic of the monkey, monkey hiding. So it's just like monkey peeping, with a deeper turn twist of the torso. So my fingers are still pointing in the same direction as my nose. And I'm looking over my shoulder. I like to think in trying to get away from the great immortal spirit. So those are the five frolics of the monkey. We're going to do monkey walking one last time. Again, same path, 45, 45, back in monkey walking to the crane's beak position. There may come a time in these sessions where we actually do a deep drill into, another one of the monkey frolic, another one of the frolics from the monkey. So that was sort of a demo thing as opposed to a teaching thing. FYI. All right. Getting in touch with your inner monkey. That cleverness, that playfulness, a deep inner strength or intelligence. Compressing, remember pulling in as opposed to expanding out. The breath in through the teeth, out through the mouth. A little sound of the wind. The chi focus, Shia Dantian, not the acupuncture point, the actual esoteric vessel in the belly, and the hands. Remember, all of those are considered the Buddhist aspects of the animal frolic. The Taoist aspects is to let go of understanding the nature and the spirit of the animal and become the animal. So you're not doing the Stanislavski acting version, which is for actors, it's what would I do if I were the character in these given circumstances. It is not that. It is not what would I do if I were a monkey in these given circumstances. You are the monkey. 3, 2, 1. Little pause, couple of beats, no breath, no movement. And ideally your inhalation and all movement done together at the same time and held together at the same time. Switch to the heel and the exhalation and the movement all come to an end at the same time. Notice I'm back in my vertical alignment, all the weights on that foot that was empty. And then I pivot, ideally to the 45. However, if you have knee issues, if you have hip issues, you can make, and I'll do it here, a little bit more shallow twist. Now I'm only at about a 10-15% angle. And notice I'm not following the given in Tai Chi about stepping shoulder wide. I am pivoting and putting that foot where I need it. Based on my balance, my range of motion, my strength, my flexibility. My. One more. And turn and face the front. Palms up, palms down. I'll do that in full camera one more time as well. And hands to the acupuncture point for the Shia Dantian. So that closing again, you take your last step. The hands are where they are, doing what it is that they're doing. And raise up on the balls of both feet. Pivot to the direction in which you are moving. So if you're doing the circle walk, you readjust yourself to face, the circumference, the border of the circle that you're walking. So I'm walking forward, so that's where I'm facing, palms up. They're still up. They come fingertip to fingertip, down, settling the weight. And a little rebound. I'm going to do that again without the turn. So I've taken my next to the last step, take my last step. I'm going to do a little adjustment. So I'm more in full camera, up, down, and rebound. And there you have it. Your Monday, May 18th, 2020. I think this is our 10,000th live session since home isolation began. That was a joke. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got a little bit of a monkey on. I hope it felt good. Glad that you spent the time with me. And we'll see you here in a week, and hopefully see those of you from Sachem and those of you from West Babylon at some point in the future. Actually, 3-3, in 3D, face-to-face, sooner rather than later, a safe sooner rather than later. Until then, and maybe even then, well, yes, because you shouldn't be washing your hands just because it's a global pandemic. You should be washing your hands. I know I was guilty of that. I was giving my hand washing short shrift before this. I know better now. At least I was washing my hands. So keep washing your hands. If you're out in public, please wear a face mask. If other people are around, or if you're moving through a place where other people have been, it's still a good idea. Don't touch your face unless the hands have been cleaned or disinfected. And we'll get through this together. Listen to the health professionals. Support people who are currently in the front lines in the hospital, healthcare systems, and EMTs, etc. And remember, we won't be here next week because of the holiday, and respect for those who have fallen in the service of the country, and extend that to those not only who have fallen on the front lines of the pandemic, but also those we have lost to this crisis. And take care. Hey, I sort of got a little emotional there, so I don't like leaving things on a down note. So I've been working on a piece of writing for my studio students, and I've been researching. Well, no real way to put it. I mean, I've been looking for jokes, but it ends up that all the jokes that I'm finding that are martially related are just pretty bad jokes. So, how does a pig defend himself? A pork chop. And on that note, I'm going to leave now before you start throwing things at me. See you next time. Bye.